Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Thank you guys for tuning in to check out my recreation of a Halloween look that I did last year, only not really. Before I forget, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and also please leave a comment, because that's how like brands and stuff know that you guys are like really watching and paying attention to my videos, is if you comment. I did a look like this last year, only it was like way different. I'll like throw up a picture right here. So when I came into this today, I was like, oh, I'm just gonna like recreate that look, only I'm going to obviously like upgrade it a little, because I've learned a lot in makeup the last year and I feel like I could do even better. But then it just started taking on a life of its own, and I've been filming all day long, like seriously, like all day long for like 6 or 7 hours. But I'm really happy with how everything turned out. Before I forget, I want to shout out one of my biggest fans. Her name is Aaliyah. They call her Lily. So I'm gonna stop talking now because I'm literally exhausted and I have not eaten anything since a protein shake for breakfast, and it is 8 p.m. here in Kentucky right now, so I'm ready for some food and a nap. Yes, at 8 o'clock, because I'm a night owl. I like to stay up late. Anyways, thank you so much for tuning in. Please don't forget to subscribe, and let's just go ahead and jump right into it. Okay, so what we're going to do next is we're going to try and lift this up. You can see where I'm talking, this is lifted up some anyways. This is just like a Morphe spatula that came with the mixing plate. And so I'm just going to slip it under here and very gently pull up the edges. You definitely need something like really flat to get up under there without destroying all of your hard work. Now, when I get to here, I'm gonna try to stop and leave like a little bit up here not bothered. So see, it just looks like it lifts away right through here. And then I'm also gonna do it going down here. Okay, so once we have all of this pulled aside, the next thing we're gonna go in with is some face paints, and today I'm going to be using this Maybelline makeup palette. It's like a face painting palette. I did get this from Amazon as well, and it looks like this. These are water activated. I got like a really cheap brush set from Amazon as well, and it's called Art Axe. High quality synthetic brushes. It just comes with like a bunch of them. I've already took them out of the package, but I wanted to show you what the package looked like. And what I want to do is kind of create a rainbow on this side, but I want it to kind of be cohesive with this eye look over here. So I want to do like blue, purple, because blue is like the first shade down there, and then purple, and then pink, and then orange, and then yellow. And I don't know how I'm going to do this yet. I'm going to do it different than last year, or I don't know, at least it's going to look blended. That's like the most important thing. I'm just going to use this flat brush. It came in there. It's got like 1/2 on it, so I guess it's brush number 1/2. I'm just going to dip it into my water bottle. And I'm going to go in with the pink shade first, because I want this to be very equal and cohesive. And the pink is going to be kind of the middle shade. So I want to lay that down first and then decide where to go from there. The pink that I want to use is this second one. Is this one right here in this Maybelline palette. And if somebody could leave me a comment and tell me how to edit out a barking dog, that would be great, because Loki barked the entire time. Now last year when I did this part of the skull, I actually used makeup because I didn't have any face paint or anything like this. So what I used was the Urban Decay electric palette, and then I also used the Morphe 35B. I think that's what it was. Okay, now I want to take this up underneath of the face, so I'm just going to lift it, and I'm going to apply that, and then I'm going to hold it up while this dries, so that the pink doesn't transfer to the latex. If you have a handheld fan like Jaclyn, this would be the time to drag it out. I don't, but I'm seriously thinking about ordering one. Now I'm going to take this other brush that was in it, and this is the number 4 brush. Next, I'm going to dip into this blue shade right here. And then I'm going to focus the blue shade up here. And I'm just going to kind of go around my hairline. I tried to like gel this baby hair back, but it wasn't really working out. So I'm just gonna go right over top of it. Which is just lift this up and tuck this blue like right under there. Next, I'm gonna go in with this yellow shade in that palette. I'm just going to do the same thing with this yellow as I did with the blue. I'm going to go ahead and paint the stripe, but I'm going to leave a little bit of space in between the pink and the yellow so that I can lay another color in between there. And that will help me gauge, like, I'm trying to get everything as even as possible. Next, I'm going to go in with this orange shade right here. Now, I'm going to lay this down in between these two colors. Next, I'm going to use this purple shade right here. Honestly, I feel like that is too light, so I'm actually going to go in with this shade. I'm going to go over this eye, even though I'll be covering most of it in black, so you don't have to worry about getting it like super close up in there. Okay, so I definitely don't want these to be like such harsh lines between each color. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mix each color that connects. So like right here, I'll mix the blue and the purple and the pink and the orange and the yellow together. And I'm just going to take this brush, and this is a Mally brush. I don't know, I think I got it in like a BoxyCharm one time. And I'm just gonna like blend those out so that it doesn't look so crazy. Just tap it around the edges. We'll see how that looks when it dries, but I'm just going to do that with every single transition. I really want these to blend and transition into each other seamlessly. See how much more blended this is looking instead of looking so harsh? And I'm still going to do some more work on it. Now I'm going to go back in with that flat brush and that pink shade. I feel like, you know, we took a lot of that away. So I'm just gonna bring some of it back. We'll do that again where I dip into both shades. And it's just like with eyeshadow, you just kind of have to blend back and forth. Now I'm gonna go back into the blue shade because I feel like I took a lot of that away too. Now my wig is gonna cover this, so I'm not too worried about that part. And then I'm going to dip back into the blue and purple and mix them together, and I'm just going to go back and forth and blend until I feel like I got the desired look I wanted. I do feel like this is all like at the top transitioned really well. I'm just taking a clean brush with the tiniest bit of water to try and blend this out a little bit more. Now I'm actually going to take this pink and I'm actually going to drag it down a little more because I just feel like everything is getting lost in the blend almost, and I don't want to completely do that, but there's also a lot more of this orange and yellow than I really care to have. So I'm just going to bring this pink down, and so then I'm just going to blend this orange and pink on down this way a little bit. And then I'm also going to bring the orange down a little bit. The yellow was my least favorite color. I wasn't a big fan of that shade of yellow. And so I want that to be just kind of like on the bottom. And then I will blend everything back out again. Next, I'm going to take this Ardency in black eyeliner and I'm going to ring my waterlines, top and bottom. I can be as messy with this as I want. I just want to make sure that it really gets in there. Okay, I know this looks a little bit like a hot mess right now, but we're going to fix all of it. So there are 3 black shades in the palette, And I'm going to use, I mean, they're all the same. I'm going to use one of the blacks to draw on the skull-like features. The brush that I'm going to attempt to use is the 1/4 brush.
So here's the thing, I am not an artist. I cannot draw to save my life like everybody else in my family can, but I did not inherit that. So I'm just kind of like winging it. I don't even know how to give you guys advice on how to do this. I'm just kind of trying to follow, like I tried to feel for my own like natural eye socket, and I just tried to go around that way. But for me, it's like I don't really care if I mess up that much, because the one thing that I'm good at is like fixing it, and like the end result is what I care about, what the end result looks like. And a lot of times my looks will look like hot messes until I get to the very end.
I'm not liking how this looks, so I'm actually going to take a separate brush. I'm going to dip back into that purple, and I'm just going to kind of go over the edges that I don't really like here.
Everything is just kind of trial and error at this point. If you are fantastic at art and you can draw, then this should be a breeze for you. But if you are like me and you are artistically challenged, then don't worry, because we're going to throw some jewels on this later to make it look better anyways. Like I said, I'm the master at covering up my messes. I could have just left this part out and like edited it out, but I didn't want to, because I wanted you guys to see that sometimes it's a struggle for us too. Even as we're creating, we mess up a lot.
Okay, well, I'm not sure that this is exactly what a skull looks like. To trace out the mouth, I'm going to use this pencil. It's by Vintage by Jessica Lee Biskin. I think I got this on a BoxyCharm too. And I'm just going to start carving out the mouth, and I want my teeth to be lined up with my teeth, so my tooth is like right down the center. But I'm going to go ahead and draw this part out as well. So I want to start up here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to feel for where my cheekbone is. I have kind of high cheekbones, and I want to put this like this line like right, kind of like right where you would put like a contour line.
So I'm just going to sketch this out, and if it's not perfect, it's all good, because we're going to like cover this up with jewels later anyways.
Now last year I really sucked at the teeth, and that's why I colored them in with glitter. I'm going to try to do a better job this year.
I don't know what it is, but I know that it looks so simple, but it just is so hard for me to draw teeth. I was trying to look at like a reference picture of a skull from Google to try to get like a better idea. The teeth that I drew on that I thought looked the best, you can see they kind of like almost look like Hershey Kisses. So maybe that would be something that you could think about if you're trying to draw these on and you're not good at it either. And then to give the illusion that the teeth go all the way back, I'm going to pull my lip out and draw underneath of that pulled out skin too. And then just do the same thing on the other side. I was trying to get close to my mirror and I kind of went out of frame. I'm so sorry about that, but just do the same thing. And then I'm also going to do the same thing on the bottom. And then I'm going to go ahead and draw the little shape on my nose to make it look like, you know, a scully nose, if that's a word.
Okay, so now that I have the outline drawn on, I'm going to go ahead and go into the black paint. I'm going to take this really tiny precision brush, and this is the 5/0, 5 out of 0. Actually, I'm going to go back with the 1/4 brush, and it's got like a flat end on it, so I'm going to use that. I feel like I'm getting a better hand on the brush with this one. I'm going to let this dry before I let my mouth go back in there. I don't want it to get on this part. Now I'm going to go back in with the precision brush and start on the teeth. Actually, no, I'm not. I think I'm going to go back in with this one. I just can't get the brush is like too flimsy.
I think that maybe I'm just way too hard on myself because I'm watching this footage and I don't think it looks as bad as like what I had in my mind that it looked like at the time. So I don't know. I think I'm just really just too tough on myself. I'm a perfectionist. And I'm just going to go ahead and trace the rest of my teeth, and then I'm also going to trace that spot on my nose that I drew on, and then I'm going to color that in.
Next, I'm going to dip into this white.
I'm just going to take that white and color in all of the teeth so that they look like white teeth. And if you want to skip this part, you totally can, because I originally thought that I would just put some glitter in here, and I ended up going in with the jewels instead. So the jewels are going to cover up the white anyway, so you can totally skip that if you want.
I know this isn't looking the best, but I'm just trying to lay a little bit of white down so there's a little bit of background when I put down the glitter. It doesn't have to be perfect, thank God. I mean, I'm definitely laying glitter down because that's what I did last year, but also because I really suck at this. Honestly, though, I kind of like the sloppy look. It kind of just reminds me of something that would be like in a Tim Burton film. So for jewels, I'm going to be mixing and matching with these face things that I ordered for like a festival look and I never used. So I'm gonna like tear some of these off and use them as like teeth. Now I am gonna have to affix these with some lash glue. Now this is gonna be very time consuming because we have to let the glue dry down a little bit, just like you would a lash, to be able to stick it.
So what I'm going to do is put some of the glue like just over top of the white paint, and then I'm just going to stick the jewels on there. I zoomed it in for you because I was like almost completely out of frame, and I was out of frame for some of them, so I tried to make up for it. And what you want to do is make sure that you have all of your jewels there at the same time. Where I used those face ones that were kind of stuck together, I had to detach them. And then you also want to make sure that you have enough jewels to do your teeth. I actually stuck a few on there quite a few times and realized that I didn't have like matching ones or the same shape. So what I had to do was use like the teardrop ones on the bottom and then the diamond shape ones on the top. To make it go a little bit faster, I would put glue on several teeth spots at a time so it would have time to get tacky.
Okay, so now I'm just going to take some of these little things right here.
I got these from Hobby Lobby a couple of years ago. I'll try to find something similar on Amazon because these were great. These are like the lazy person, easy way. I was exhausted and I was like, oh, I just want something easy. So these already, they come in like strips like that and they're attached. So I just broke them into pieces so that it would be easier to form them to the lines that I made for like the jawbone, like the cheek structure part. So if you feel like you didn't do a really good job of drawing that on, then don't even worry about it because you can cover up the whole thing with jewels. That is like the great thing about not being able to draw but still wanting to be creative. I mean, my philosophy is that glitter and jewels fix everything. I took so many of these diamonds off that I just happened to look down and see a little cluster that had kind of tore apart. And I was like, oh, let me see if this would look good on my nose. I doubt it, but then when I put it up there, I actually really liked it. So I applied some lash glue, stuck it to there, and the rest is history. So I wanted to tie the eye in to the rest of the jewel skull, and I had some larger of the little jewels, and I decided to just go around the perimeter of the black that we drew on for the eye, and I wanted to use the larger ones on top, and then they start to get smaller as they go around. Because I needed something smaller to go in like the corner of my eye and stuff like that. And then also, I just felt like it kind of made that eye socket look a little bit better. These were not loose jewels, so I just kind of had to work with what I could pull off and that I thought suited the look. And but I mean, that's what my favorite thing about being creative is taking what you have, even if you don't have the things that you need, and working with it and making it work. I grew up super, super poor. Like, I mean, dirt, dirt poor. And so I learned from a very young age to work with what you have and find any little thing that you can. If you want to create something, that's just how I know how to do it. So it might not be the right way, and if you guys can find loose jewels to make this a lot easier on yourselves, then I would highly suggest that. At this point in the night, I was so super tired that I forgot to even show you guys what I was using. So I thought that this look could use just a little bit more in that eye area. I felt like that just wasn't enough, of course, because I'm extra like that. And so I took some little nail jewels. I dotted, of course, some of the eyelash glue around, and then I stuck little tiny circular jewels that you like put on your nails, and I will link these in the description box so that you can find them easily. And that little tool that I'm using to put them on there, that actually comes with the nail jewels, and it's like a 4-pack, and it's super cheap. Well, I guess I should say affordable. And they work really well, and they're all loose as well. And I'm just honestly, I'm placing them all around the edges, the inner edges of the diamonds or the jewels that I already put on, and I'm just putting them all the way around and letting them touch each other, so it's like there's no gaps. And then my face part here started to come off a little bit, so I'm just adding some liquid latex right in that area to try and push that back together. And then I'm just going to barely stamp a little bit on the outer edge here to kind of seal it. And you saw when I wanted to go underneath that I used that little spatula thing to lift it up. That way it wouldn't get on the other work that I've already done. Now I'm going to go back in to that Mayron Paradise palette, and I'm so sorry I didn't show you guys this, but all I did was use the red. I mixed the red and the brown shades because I wanted this to look like older blood, and I just pinched some ends off of that old Morphe sponge, and I'm just stamping that around on this because I wanted it to look kind of old. I did have some fresh looking blood, like the Mayron blood, to add to this, but I ended up not using it just because I was afraid that it wouldn't dry down and that it would get on my wig, and I didn't want that to happen. And so I'm also going to take that spatula and lift up the ends because I want the most bloody part to be like right on the ends where it looks like the skin is actually tore off. And this is the final finishing touch to this look. I was so tired that I honestly forgot to even film an outro. I filmed my intro, but I forgot my outro, so please forgive me for that. And don't forget to subscribe if you like this tutorial, and I will see you in my next one. Thank you so much for tuning in.